Have you ever felt the weight of heartbreak press down so heavily that it seemed impossible to move forward? The end of a relationship can feel like an emotional earthquake, shaking the very foundation of who we are. In those moments, we often ask ourselves, will I ever feel whole again? Society tells us that breakups should leave us shattered, but what if there's another way? Imagine facing heartbreak with calm and clarity, turning your pain into a powerful teacher. That's the gift of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers timeless wisdom for modern challenges. This isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's about transforming that pain into resilience and growth. In this journey, we'll explore 10 Stoic principles that will guide you through the storm of a breakup. Each lesson will not only help you heal, but will also reveal the strength and wisdom you didn't know you had. Stay with me until the end, where we'll uncover a profound perspective that could change the way you see not only breakups but life itself. Let's begin with a question. Are you ready to reframe your story and take control of your healing? 1. Reframe the narrative. What story are you telling yourself about your breakup? When a relationship ends, it's natural to feel like you failed or lost something essential. But what if the end of this chapter is just the beginning of a more profound narrative? The Stoics teach us that we are the authors of our own lives. While we can't control every event, we can always choose how to interpret and respond to them. Think back to the early days of your relationship. You probably didn't foresee this ending, but consider the growth that occurred along the way. What did you learn about yourself, your values, and your needs? Every relationship, no matter how it ends, leaves behind valuable lessons. Instead of focusing solely on what went wrong, try asking yourself, what did this experience teach me? Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most revered philosophers, reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This means that obstacles, including heartbreak, are not barriers to our progress, but essential elements of it. By reframing your narrative, you transform a painful breakup into a stepping stone for personal growth. Consider this. If your story were a book, would this chapter be one of defeat or one of rising from adversity? You have the power to decide. Every day, you can choose to see your breakup as an opportunity, a chance to redefine yourself, clarify your goals, and prepare for healthier relationships in the future. But let's not overlook the difficulty of this practice. Rewriting your story takes time and effort. It requires you to confront uncomfortable truths and resist the urge to dwell on regret. Yet, it is precisely in this challenge that your strength is forged. So how will you rewrite your narrative? What kind of protagonist will you be in your own story? If you're ready to take this first step, stay with us as we dive deeper into the next principle, acceptance of reality. This is where true healing begins. 2. Acceptance of reality. Why is it so hard to accept that something we cherished has come to an end? After a breakup, many of us fall into the trap of denial, replaying old memories and imagining scenarios where things could have turned out differently. We cling to the hope that maybe, just maybe, the relationship can be salvaged. But here's the truth. Without acceptance, healing is impossible. The Stoics believed that peace comes from aligning our minds with reality, not resisting it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You must accept the truth about everything that happens and stop wishing for things to change." The end of your relationship is now a part of your story. Wishing it away only prolongs your suffering. Think of it this way. When we fight against reality, we're like someone standing in the rain, shouting at the clouds to stop. No amount of anger, regret, or longing will change what has already happened. Instead, we must accept the rain and focus on what we can do next, seek shelter, dry off, and prepare for sunnier days ahead. Acceptance doesn't mean you're okay with the breakup right away. It doesn't mean the pain vanishes overnight. What it does mean is that you acknowledge what has happened and begin to let go of the what-ifs. This is not a surrender to misery, it's a surrender to truth. And in truth, there is freedom. Take a moment to ask yourself, am I resisting reality? Am I holding on to a version of the past that no longer exists? If the answer is yes, that's okay, it's human. But recognize that each time you deny reality, you also deny yourself the chance to move forward. To practice acceptance, try this simple exercise. Write down a single sentence that captures the reality of your breakup. For example, my relationship has ended, and I am now on a new path. Repeat this to yourself whenever you feel tempted to resist. Let it serve as a reminder that, while you can't change the past, you have full control over how you respond to the present. As you begin to accept the reality of your breakup, you may feel a mixture of relief and sorrow. That's natural. Acceptance doesn't erase the pain, but it gives you the strength to face it without turning away. What will your next step be now that you've begun to embrace the truth? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if this resonated with you, consider liking the video. Let's continue this journey together. Up next, cultivating indifference to external things, a powerful tool for finding peace amidst life's uncertainties. 3. Cultivate indifference to external things. Have you ever noticed how much of your happiness depends on things outside of your control? In a relationship, it's easy to tie your sense of self-worth to your partner's actions, moods, or even the relationship's status. When the relationship ends, it feels like a piece of your identity has been taken away. But the Stoics teach us that true peace and contentment can only come from within. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, famously said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." Your partner's decisions, their feelings, and even the fact that the relationship has ended, these are external things, beyond your control. Yet, how often do we let these externals dictate our inner peace? The Stoic practice of cultivating indifference to external things is not about becoming cold or detached. Instead, it's about recognizing that your happiness should never depend on things outside your control. You can care deeply for someone, invest in a relationship, and still remain grounded in your own sense of self-worth. Let's apply this to your breakup. Yes, it's painful to lose a relationship, and yes, it's natural to grieve. But consider this. Is your peace of mind dependent on winning back your ex? Is your value tied to their approval? If the answer is yes, you're giving away your power to something or someone external. Ask yourself, what is truly within my control right now? You can't control your ex's feelings or decisions, but you can control how you respond to this loss. You can control your thoughts, your actions, and your commitment to growth. Think of your inner peace as a fortress. When you base your happiness on external things, you leave the gates wide open, allowing every storm and invader to wreak havoc. But when you cultivate indifference to externals, you strengthen those walls. You still experience life's highs and lows, but they no longer control you. One practical way to develop this mindset is through daily reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what events today were beyond my control? How did I react to them? By doing this, you'll start to notice patterns and gradually shift your focus to what truly matters, your own thoughts and actions. Remember, cultivating indifference doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care wisely. You show love and compassion, but you don't let your inner peace hinge on things that are ultimately beyond your influence. As you build this mindset, you'll discover a profound sense of freedom. Breakups, disagreements, even life's biggest challenges, they may still affect you, but they won't control you. And isn't that a kind of power worth striving for? In the next lesson, we'll explore how focusing on the present moment can help you regain clarity and peace. 4. Focus on the present. How often do we let the past or future steal the peace of our present? After a breakup, your mind might replay old conversations, dwell on mistakes, or imagine what could have been. Alternatively, you may be consumed by anxiety about the future. Will I ever find love again? Will I always feel this way? But Stoicism reminds us that the only time we truly have is now. Epictetus offers a powerful insight. Do not dwell on the past or worry about the future. Simply focus on what is in front of you. The past is beyond our reach, and the future remains uncertain. The present moment, however, is where life happens, where decisions are made, and where healing begins. Why do we find it so hard to live in the present? The mind, like a restless traveler, loves to wander. It clings to regrets and chases after fears. But consider this. Every moment spent lost in the past or fretting about the future is a moment stolen from your life right now. Can you afford to lose these moments, especially when they hold the key to your recovery? What does focusing on the present look like in practice? It's about engaging fully with what's in front of you, no matter how small or mundane. If you're having a conversation, truly listen. If you're working on a task, give it your full attention. Even in moments of rest, notice the sensations of your breath or the sounds around you. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for anchoring yourself in the present. When thoughts of your breakup arise, acknowledge them without judgment and gently bring your focus back to what you're doing. This simple practice helps you break free from the cycle of rumination and anxiety. Here's a question for you. What can you do today, in this very moment, to care for yourself? It could be something as simple as preparing a healthy meal, going for a walk, or even organizing your space. These small actions, when done with presence, have a grounding effect, reminding you that life continues, and so do you. Focusing on the present doesn't mean ignoring your pain. It means choosing not to let that pain dominate your every waking moment. Each present moment offers a chance to heal, to grow, and to find joy, even in small ways. As you practice this, you'll find that your ability to stay present strengthens over time. You'll experience life more fully, without the weight of the past or the fear of the future pulling you down. And in doing so, you'll discover that peace and clarity are always within reach. They exist in the now. Next, we'll explore the impermanence of emotions and how understanding this can bring comfort and strength during tough times. 5. Contemplate the impermanence of emotions. Have you ever felt like your sadness or anger would last forever? In the aftermath of a breakup, emotions can feel overwhelming, as if they'll never fade. But here's the truth that Stoicism offers. No emotion, no matter how intense, is permanent. Just as the sun rises after the darkest night, your feelings will change and evolve with time. The Stoics often reflected on the fleeting nature of emotions. Marcus Aurelius observed, "Observe constantly that all things take place by change, and accustom yourself to the thought that nature loves nothing so much as to change existing forms and to make new ones like them." This applies not only to external events but also to the internal landscape of our feelings. Think back to a time when you were deeply upset about something that, in hindsight, seems minor. At the time, it probably felt all-consuming. But eventually, that feeling faded, replaced by others. The same principle applies to the heartbreak you're feeling now. It's intense, yes, but it won't last forever. Why does this insight matter? Because when you understand that your emotions are temporary, you free yourself from the fear of being trapped in them. You gain the courage to face your feelings head-on, knowing they will eventually pass. This doesn't mean you suppress or ignore your emotions. On the contrary, Stoicism teaches us to acknowledge them fully, observe them without judgment, and then let them flow naturally. Here's a practical exercise. When a wave of sadness or anger arises, pause and remind yourself, this is temporary. Imagine your emotions like clouds drifting across the sky. Some are dark and heavy, others light and fleeting, but none of them stay forever. It's also important to remember that emotions, while transient, serve a purpose. They provide valuable insights about your inner world and your relationships. The pain of a breakup, for instance, can highlight unmet needs or unresolved issues. By contemplating the impermanence of these feelings, you can approach them with curiosity rather than fear. Ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to teach me? As you reflect on the changing nature of your emotions, you'll find it easier to ride out the storm of heartbreak. You'll begin to trust in the natural ebb and flow of your feelings, finding solace in the knowledge that brighter days are ahead. And as those brighter days come, you'll also learn to savor the fleeting moments of joy, knowing that they too are precious precisely because they don't last forever. This perspective enriches your appreciation of life's highs and softens the blow of its lows. Now, let's pause for a moment. If this insight about the impermanence of emotions resonates with you, share your experience in the comments below. What emotions have you recently observed shifting in your life? If you're finding value in these reflections, give this video a like to support more content on how Stoicism can guide us through life's challenges. Next, we'll dive into Amor, Fati, how embracing love for your fate can transform the way you view life's inevitable ups and downs. Stay with us for this powerful mindset shift. 6. Amor, Fati, love your fate. What if, instead of merely accepting life's challenges, you could learn to love them? This is the essence of Amor, Fati, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The phrase translates to love of fate, and it invites us to embrace everything that happens in our lives, both the good and the bad, as essential parts of our journey. When a relationship ends, it's natural to feel that life has taken a wrong turn. You might find yourself asking, why did this happen to me? But Stoicism challenges us to reframe that question. Instead of resisting your fate, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this event, painful as it is, contribute to my growth? The Stoics believe that every experience, no matter how difficult, carries value. Marcus Aurelius urged, a blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. In other words, life's challenges are fuel for your personal growth. The breakup you're enduring now, as painful as it may be, is shaping you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Loving your fate doesn't mean you have to enjoy every hardship. It doesn't mean pretending that the breakup isn't painful. What it does mean is trusting that every event in your life is part of a greater tapestry, one that ultimately serves your development. Consider this. If you could go back in time and undo your relationship entirely, would you? While the breakup hurts, that relationship likely brought joy, taught you lessons, and revealed truths about yourself. Amor Fati teaches us to cherish the entirety of the experience, the highs and the lows, because both are essential. One powerful way to practice Amor Fati is through reflection. Take a moment to list the ways in which your breakup, painful as it is, might be leading you towards something better. Perhaps it's teaching you the importance of self-reliance or helping you clarify what you want in future relationships. Maybe it's simply reminding you of your own resilience. Embracing Amor Fati doesn't just help with breakups, it transforms how you approach life. When you love your fate, you stop seeing life's difficulties as enemies and start viewing them as allies. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to grow, to adapt, and to thrive. So ask yourself, what would it look like to fully embrace my current reality, including its pain and uncertainty? How might I love this chapter of my life for the unique lessons it offers? In practicing Amor Fati, you'll find that life's hardships lose some of their sting. You'll develop a deeper sense of trust in the unfolding of your own story, knowing that every twist and turn serves a purpose. Next, we'll explore the concept of non-attachment, how loving without clinging can free you to experience deeper and more fulfilling relationships. 7. Non-attachment. Have you ever clung so tightly to a relationship that the thought of losing it felt unbearable? Perhaps you believed that without your partner, your happiness or sense of self would crumble. This attachment, while natural, can lead to immense suffering. Stoicism offers a liberating alternative: the practice of non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean you stop caring about people or experiences. It doesn't mean becoming indifferent or emotionally distant. Instead, it's about loving deeply and fully while understanding that everything in life is transient. The Stoics teach us that the more we cling to something, the more power it has to disrupt our inner peace. Epictetus reminds us, when giving your child or wife a kiss, say to yourself, I am kissing a mortal. This isn't a call to be cold or detached, but a reminder to appreciate and love what we have without becoming dependent on it. When we acknowledge that everything, relationships, possessions, even life itself, is temporary, we can engage with the world from a place of gratitude rather than fear. In the context of a breakup, practicing non-attachment can be transformative. You may still love and cherish the memories of your past relationship, but you release the need to hold on to it as the source of your happiness. This shift allows you to move forward with grace, rather than clinging to a version of the past that no longer exists. Ask yourself, am I holding on to this relationship out of love or out of fear of losing something I believe I need? The answer can reveal much about your attachment. By recognizing that your worth and happiness are not tied to any single person or outcome, you reclaim your power. A helpful exercise is to visualize your life as a flowing river. The people and experiences that come into your life are like leaves floating on the surface. Some leaves stay with you longer, while others drift away. Non-attachment is about appreciating each leaf without trying to stop the river's flow. This mindset also transforms the way you approach future relationships. When you practice non-attachment, you enter relationships not out of neediness or fear, but out of a genuine desire to share your life with someone. You become free to love without the burden of clinging, which leads to healthier, more balanced connections. Here's another important question. What would it feel like to let go of your need to control or possess your relationships? Imagine the freedom of loving with open hands rather than a tight grip. Non-attachment doesn't eliminate the pain of loss, but it makes that pain more bearable. It helps you navigate breakups with wisdom and resilience, knowing that your inner peace does not depend on external circumstances. Next, we'll delve into the powerful Stoic practice of negative visualization, how imagining worst-case scenarios can actually bring greater peace and appreciation for what you have. But before we move on, reflect on this. How has attachment affected your relationships? If this lesson on non-attachment resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments and give this video a like. Let's continue exploring these life-changing Stoic principles together. 8. Negative visualization. What if imagining the worst could actually make you feel better? At first, this might seem counterintuitive. After all, who wants to dwell on life's most painful possibilities? But for the Stoics, negative visualization is a cornerstone of emotional resilience. By contemplating loss, hardship, or misfortune before they happen, you prepare yourself to face them with grace and gratitude. In the context of a breakup, negative visualization can be a powerful tool for healing. Think about this. What if the breakup had been more painful? What if you had stayed in the relationship, only for it to become toxic or unfulfilling? By considering these possibilities, you might begin to appreciate the current situation, not because it's easy, but because it could have been worse. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, advised he robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. When you regularly reflect on life's uncertainties, you build a kind of mental armor. Instead of being blindsided by hardship, you meet it with a calm, prepared mind. Negative visualization isn't about dwelling on suffering or becoming pessimistic. Instead, it's about gaining perspective. When you vividly imagine losing what you hold dear, whether it's a relationship, a job, or even your health, you begin to cherish it more deeply. This practice shifts your focus from what's missing to what remains, fostering gratitude for the present. Let's apply this to your breakup. Take a moment to visualize a scenario where things had ended in a more hurtful way. Perhaps there could have been betrayal or prolonged emotional conflict. Now, reflect on your actual experience. While the pain is real, could it be a lesser hardship than some alternatives? Now, take it a step further. Imagine never having met your former partner at all. You would have missed the joy, growth, and lessons that relationship brought, even if it ended. This thought exercise helps you see the breakup not as an entirely negative event, but as one chapter in a meaningful journey. Here's a practical way to start. Each morning or evening, spend a few quiet moments reflecting on potential losses or hardships. Think about the things and people you value most, and imagine life without them. This isn't meant to darken your mood, but to heighten your appreciation for what you have right now. Ask yourself, how would I feel if I lost this? How can I better appreciate it while it's here? This practice helps you approach life's inevitable changes with greater acceptance and wisdom. By regularly engaging in negative visualization, you become less fearful of life's uncertainties. You develop a mindset that allows you to face breakups, disappointments, and challenges with a calm sense of readiness. Instead of being paralyzed by fear or regret, you move forward, grounded in gratitude for the present and prepared for whatever lies ahead. In the next lesson, we'll explore the importance of maintaining equanimity, how to stay calm and centered amid life's ups and downs. But before we continue, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you tried negative visualization? How has it shifted your perspective on life's challenges? 9. Maintain your equanimity. Life's emotional highs and lows can feel like a relentless storm. In relationships, we experience moments of pure joy, but when a breakup occurs, those moments often give way to intense pain and turmoil. How do we remain steady when the waves of life threaten to pull us under? The Stoics offer a simple yet profound answer. Cultivate equanimity. Equanimity is the ability to maintain a calm and balanced state of mind, no matter what life throws at you. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending you're unaffected. Rather, it's about allowing yourself to feel without being ruled by those feelings. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. After a breakup, it's easy to feel like your world is falling apart, but ask yourself, Is the pain I'm feeling coming from the event itself, or from my interpretation of it? Often we magnify our suffering by dwelling on what could have been or by letting our emotions spiral out of control. Equanimity allows us to step back and observe these emotions without judgment. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. The wind howls and the rain pours, but at your core, there's a stillness, a quiet place untouched by the chaos around you. This is the essence of equanimity. You acknowledge the storm without letting it consume you. Practicing equanimity during a breakup begins with self-awareness. Pay attention to how your emotions rise and fall throughout the day. When you feel overwhelmed, pause and take a deep breath. Remind yourself that emotions, like storms, are temporary. This simple act of mindfulness helps you regain control and keeps you grounded. Here's a practical exercise. When faced with emotional turbulence, label your feelings without attaching to them. Instead of saying, "I am sad," try saying, "I notice sadness." This subtle shift creates space between you and your emotions, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Equanimity also helps us navigate the highs of relationships. It's easy to get swept up in moments of happiness and pin our sense of self-worth on them. But Stoicism teaches us to enjoy life's joys without becoming dependent on them. This way, when circumstances change, as they inevitably will, we remain steady and resilient. Ask yourself, how would my life change if I could remain calm in both good times and bad? Equanimity doesn't mean you stop feeling, it means you stop being controlled by those feelings. This inner balance allows you to experience life more fully, with clarity and strength. As you practice equanimity, you'll find that you recover from setbacks more quickly and handle life's challenges with greater ease. You'll come to see that no matter what storms arise, you have the power to remain centered. In our final lesson, we'll explore the importance of focusing on the present moment, a practice that ties together all the Stoic principles we've discussed. But before we move on, take a moment to reflect. How do you maintain your balance during life's emotional storms? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if this lesson on equanimity resonates, give the video a like. Let's continue building our inner strength together. 10. Focus on the present. How often do we let our minds drift to the past or worry about the future? After a breakup, it's almost instinctive to replay old conversations, wonder about what might have been, or fret over what lies ahead. But the Stoics remind us of an essential truth. The past is gone, the future is uncertain, and the only time that truly belongs to us is the present moment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." These words are a powerful call to action, especially in times of emotional turmoil. When we focus on the present, we reclaim our power, stepping away from the shadows of regret and anxiety. Let's consider the breakup you're navigating. Are you dwelling on the past, wishing you could change it? Or are you projecting into the future, fearing you'll never find happiness again? Both paths lead to suffering. The past cannot be rewritten, and the future is shaped by what you do now. The present is where your healing begins. One way to anchor yourself in the present is through mindfulness. This doesn't have to be a complex practice. Simply take a few moments to notice your breath, the sensations in your body, or the sounds around you. When thoughts about your breakup arise, gently bring your attention back to the here and now. This practice trains your mind to stay grounded, even when emotions pull you in different directions. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to take care of myself? Perhaps it's something small, like preparing a meal, going for a walk, or reaching out to a friend. These simple actions, performed with presence, remind you that life continues, and you have the power to engage with it fully. Focusing on the present also helps you appreciate the moments of joy and peace that still exist, even amidst heartache. Maybe it's the warmth of the sun on your face, the taste of your favorite tea, or the comfort of a good book. These small but significant moments remind you that life's beauty persists, even in times of loss. Stoicism teaches us that by grounding ourselves in the present, we not only reduce unnecessary suffering but also find the strength to face life's challenges. The present is where your resilience grows, where your clarity sharpens, and where your sense of self is rebuilt. So ask yourself, how can I make the most of this moment? What steps, however small, can I take today to move forward? When you focus on the present, you create a foundation for healing and growth that will carry you through even the toughest times. As we conclude this journey through Stoic lessons, remember that the present moment is your greatest ally. From here, you can embrace life with renewed purpose and strength. You've now explored 10 powerful Stoic principles to help you navigate the pain of a breakup. Each lesson, reframing your narrative, accepting reality, practicing non-attachment, and more, offers a path to healing and growth. But these teachings are not just for breakups. They're tools for life, helping you face any challenge with clarity and resilience. As you move forward, remember that you have the strength within you to overcome anything. If these lessons resonated with you, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments. What Stoic principle spoke to you the most? How are you applying it in your life? Your insights could inspire someone else on their journey. Don't forget to like this video if you found it valuable, and subscribe for more content on Stoicism and personal growth. Together, we can continue exploring ways to live with wisdom, resilience, and peace. Thank you for watching, and remember, every ending is a new beginning. Embrace the journey, and know that you are worthy of love, both from others and, most importantly, from yourself.